Hello YouTube, I'm the Gaming Pegasus 187. This is Side Scroller Sunday, episode 46. It is Monday, probably Tuesday by the time you're watching this, at least. I'm aware of that. So I tried recording this thing 3 times last night. Wasn't happy with how the first take turned out. Second take I didn't save accidentally because I'm using my sound recorder on my computer and it just... I don't know what happened. And then the third time I had such a brain fart, I'm like, I'm done. Just... This way I at least get something up, and I want to record another section of this. There's only going to be 2 levels in this video. Because this game is already starting to get brutal because, well, I never grew up playing this. Oh, I played the shit out of Mario 3, and I know that game like the back of my damn hand. The, Mario World on the Super Nintendo, yeah, I played the crap out of it, but it's still, you know, fairly easy. I mean, I played the crap out of the Game Boy Advance port, and I got really good at it. This game, not so much. It's not really one I've gone back to that often. In fact, I don't think I've really gone back to it since I finished it years ago. So, anyway, I'm not going to talk about WrestleMania. Not going to talk about the Bullet Club. Not going to talk about, as of this point, the Bullet Club attacking Roman Reigns. That does intrigue me, though. But I will talk about a little bit of what I've been playing. Outside of Supercard, AV Jane Adventures 2, because that finally dropped, and it's awesome. You know, the first game was, I mean, it was fantastic. It was brutal. It was definitely a challenge, but it really wasn't that long. This game's got way more levels, way more puzzles. There's like one level where you have portals. You have to go in and out of portals, and you can actually shoot through them. It's awesome. But like, the game opens up. So the first game you get drug into by your balls. The game literally just reaches out, grabs you by the balls, and yanks you in. Aggressive hand job much? Anyway. So, the second game, the whole world becomes a shitty game. Oh god. So, Mike, motherfucker Mike ends up, he's the guy through the tutorial, which is basically the nerd's house. Alright, makes sense. And he starts repeating things. A lot of things come back from the first game. You know, the NES Zapper weapon, the toaster and toaster fucking checkpoints, things like that. And then you get into your first boss fight, and it's this, you know, certain whiny, moaning, you know, yeah, just like that. The Nostalgia Critic is in the game. You know, Fred Fuchs, who is the, you know, the final boss, the programmer Fred Fuchs from the last game. No, it's the Critic, which is already hilarious. So, I haven't played too much of it, just really, it's been a lot of Supercard, a lot of, a little more WWE 2K16, things like that. Just not really much on this, but I mean, I love the shit out of the first game. I rebought it on the Wii U when it launched on that, so I have it on Steam, and then I have the first one also on the Wii U. So now I have AVG Adventures 2 on Steam. So I'm really looking forward to really diving into that some more. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, Saturday I'm heading to work. And I decided to go into the pawn shop, browse around for a few minutes. And I just happened to just look over on the counter at the stack of these. I guess stuff they pulled out that someone missed their payment or they just left or, you know, didn't pay didn't even pull out and, you know, just becomes property of the pawn shop. Well, right on top of the stack of about 10-15 DVDs is Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. $2. Like, shut up and take my money. I've been looking forward to seeing this thing for a long time. Now, I didn't grow up watching Dragon Ball. I watched Dragon Ball Z. And if I remember right, I would watch, what was it, like, The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, or whatever that show was? Like, that was a show I really liked. And then they replaced the time slot with Dragon Ball Z. So, started watching it, and it's... So, I have no backstory on the characters, on who a lot of these people are, because it starts off, it's the main series cast from Dragon Ball. So, you have Goku's now a full-grown adult with a son, you have, you know, Krillin, Boma, Master Roshi, yada yada yada. Well, what ends up happening is Raditz, this is where we find out Goku is a Saiyan, he's an alien from another planet that got blown up, you know, by Frieza, and I'll get to that later. You know, Raditz was really a throwaway kind of villain. You know, he was so weak that... Thank you, Vegeta. Yeah, he just, you know, Goku sacrificed himself to beat Raditz and blah blah blah. We start going to the Saiyan Saga. You know, we have Nappa.
I am hilarious and you will quote everything I say.
Okay, that was weird. You know, Vegeta.
I am the hype!
Anyway, I think this would become a thing now where I'm just getting interrupted in my own video. Ugh, well. And the whole fight with the Saiyans, Piccolo dies in the process, and because Kami is split from Piccolo, he dies, so now Dragon Balls are gone, so they have to go to Namek. And this leads into really the big introduction of Frieza. You know, it was really just in passing when Vegeta, when he went and recovered from the fight with Goku, and then he's going to Namek for the Dragon Balls. And then obviously we have Boma, Krillin, and Gohan have like several, I don't know what the time frame was, like several days, I think, ahead of Goku because he was still incapacitated and there's no sensu beans.
Sensu bean!
What was that? Should I just start a counter of Dragon Ball Z abridged quotes just interrupting my video? There's already a Krillin known count in that show. Now, whatever. So, it was King Kai talking to Goku, and then he's looking what's going on Namek, and then he just, like, he shits his pants, like, just like, it's like if the color would have just drained from his face. He's in a state of shock. So he knew how bad this guy is. I mean, Frieza, you know, he killed without mercy. Whatever he was gonna gain, he had no qualms about. Just indiscriminate children, old men, his own minions didn't, you know, weren't safe from the wrath of Frieza. So this was a serious villain. You know, we had Vegeta, who was still at this point was still against him, but he was working with him somewhat reluctantly because the common enemy in Frieza, he realized he's really smart enough to realize, like, yeah, if I don't team up with these guys, we're all fucked. And, you know, of course, he wants his own selfishly. He still wants his immortality. That's all he wants.
First immortality, then the bitches.
So, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll work with these guys and we'll see what the fuck happens. And see if we can, you know, survive. So, and then, of course, you know, through the long... It's the thing about this show, like, the filler is what drove me nuts, I think. And I realized that, like, I really should just try and go through and watch Kai, because a lot of that filler is gone. It's just all main story. Like, there'd be, like, one episode that just focused on Bulma dealing with giant crabs in the ocean? Like, big giant crabs, like, they just jumped off the Kardashians' pubic hairs. Anyway, so, you know, and I'm really going through all this backstory really quick, kind of really set up the where this movie is. So now GT is completely non-canon. So the Frieza and Cell did make a brief appearance with that, and then got beat up at Kid Goku and fucking Frozen Hell, which hell I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't get in GT. Anyway. So, Frieza, Goku bests Frieza. He gives him some energy, and he's flying away to get off the planet, and then, Frieza tries to blindside him, and he gets blasted. So he comes back to Earth as Mecha Frieza with his dad, and cut to ribbons, and just owned by future Trunks. So at this point in the story, I want to say Trunks is probably about 8. He's still a kid. Goten, I think, is a little bit younger. Pan was just born. And the movie basically starts. We have Goku and Vegeta are training with Beerus and Whis. Well, really just Whis. I'll get to that. It's a big part of the story later. But basically, the movie opens up with this really confusing scene to start with until you see what really is going on. You have this big tree, this big meadow, just a single tree. A bunch of dancing stuffed animals singing really happy songs. And in like a cocoon is Frieza. It's like, oh, okay, this is Frieza's hell. Which it looks like my hell, only I'd be fucking Clockwork Orange, my eyes just permanently open. Constant, eye drops and shit, being forced to watch Eva Marie matches on loop. And then loop of Dixie Carter promos. And then loops of fucking Triple H and a Cane Master eye humping a mannequin in a coffin. Then Kathy Lee and Hoda on Raw. Ugh. Anyway, I gotta stop getting sidetracked here. So, this is basically where Frieza's been for years. He's in hell. This is his hell. And he's just loathing every fucking millisecond of it. So, cut to this new, somewhat rebuilt Frieza army. I didn't really catch their names, but it doesn't even matter. They're just henchmen at this point. The army was rebuilt, and then these two guys decide to go to Earth to get the Dragon Balls, where Emperor Pilaf, yes, that Emperor Pilaf from the very first saga in Dragon Ball, with his 2 cohorts, who are little children. I don't remember why. I think it was because of the Dragon Balls. Yeah, I think that's because some weird wish, and then blah. I don't remember. I think it was a Battle of Gods. Well, what ended up happening is, so they'd already collected 6 of them, and then they're going for the 7th. These guys show up, and they led them to the 7th Dragon Ball. They they summoned Shenron. There's this actually really insane scene where they try and blindside him, this guy, and then he just turns around and blasts him with this little fucking ring blaster thing. So, yeah. So they summon Shenron, who basically says that he cannot restore Frieza because he would be able to return his soul, but his body is in pieces. They have this like rejuvenation tank thing that just, you're cut to a million pieces, they just throw you in there and you just reform back. So, interesting. That's really, it's like a Deus Ex Machina without really being a Deus Ex Machina, I think. So, some of that, and then the Dragon tells him, what's your second wish? Because the new Guardian of Earth, when they remade the Dragon Balls, Guardian gave him new powers where you can get 2 wishes. So it really just gave him an upgrade. I believe the Guardian is Dende.
Why?
No, 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 Dende. No, 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 Dende. Dende.
Guru.
Dende.
Nail's here.
Thank you, Super Kame Guru. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep interested by Dragon Ball Z abridged this whole video. Whatever. If you've never seen Dragon Ball Z abridged, please go fucking watch it. It's hilarious. Like, just ridiculously hilarious.
Super Kami Guru allows this.
So they revive Frieza in pieces, and then the little ninja dog cohort of Pilas just wishes for 1,000,000 Zenny. Because this guy was going to wish for the revival of King Cold as well. That didn't happen, so boom, Frieza's resurrected. We now have... He goes off the train, and at the same time, Piccolo was babysitting Pan, which is such a strange, insane idea that I can't hate it. While Gohan and Videl were out shopping. Anyway. They notice the dark, you know, when this dragon sun, the sky turns...
What I meant to say was, when you make a wish on the Dragon Balls, the sky turns darker than the blackest void!
Yeah, I'm not even doing a counter, I don't care. This is just ridiculous. So, and the clouds disappear, then, you know, Frieza goes off to train to get reaccustomed to his, you know, ability, his powers again, and his strength. So in the meantime, you know, 6 months go by, I think. And all of a sudden, there's like this time Cobb guy that comes and trying to warn Boma that Frieza's back, he's been revived, yada yada yada. So he tries to summon, Goku and Vegeta, who are off training on Beerus' planet with Whis. So Boma tries to summon Whis with a strawberry sundae. Seems to be a thing where, as long as they're able to supply Beerus and Whis with these delectable, it just in a sense, it's all the bad foods, like pizza, and just all that, he won't destroy the earth. So, Jesus, easy that, please, the god of destruction. Just sweets. So, couldn't get a hold of him. They got the Z Warriors, and you know, Frieza comes with 1,000 minions, blows up a city. They show up, and Boma comes along because, well, she never saw Frieza in the original battle on Namek. And she's mouthing off to him and being a bitch.
Boma, the mistress of bitching! That's what they should call you!
Anyway, speaking of Krillin, who is now a cop, you know, they had this whole big fucking battle. There's I was seen earlier with, and Krillin hair goes, I'm gonna go old school. You know, his Android 18 shaves his head, and they specifically leave Goten and Trunks out of the battle because they would be brazen enough to try and duel the Frieza, which is a bad idea. As strong as Goten and Trunks are, especially if they fuse, no match for Frieza, especially when we get to the new Frieza form later. Anyway, Gohan attracts. It does this one thing where, I don't know if it couldn't tell if he stopped time or whatever it was, but he just boop, takes out like 10 minions, just knocks them out. Frieza even notices that Gohan doesn't use lethal blows. Just the fact that he's just like his father. Goku also showed Frieza mercy, and then, you know, he almost got blindsided. That's gonna come into play later. So then Frieza eventually blows off all... Roshi actually does some fighting too, which is awesome. Love it. So, we get to the point where Frieza comes out of his little levitating fucking seat pod, whatever, Eggman, whatever, I don't know what the hell to call it. Comes out, punches Gohan in the gut, knocks him out, stops his heart. Piccolo goes over, jolts his heart, they give him a Senzu Bean, and now they're down to 1, and all of a sudden we have, you know, it's about to stand on. This is where Whis sees the missed call he got from Boma, gets a hold of him, she starts freaking out, Goku couldn't, no, he couldn't get to Beerus because he couldn't lock onto his, what was it, energy signal, or, you know, energy, because he's too far away. So they have all the Z Fighter all power up, and then that allows Goku to lock off for the instant transmission, because he needs it's instant, it's not speed of light, this is a mistranslation. It's instant, so he would need to, but he still needs to lock on somebody's energy to go to that spot, you know? So he brings Vegeta. Now, there was a point when they were training, and Whis explains the fact that he can turn back time, it's like a temporal displacement, whatever the hell he called it. Basically, in a space, it's like 3 minutes, he gets to rewind, he can rewind time and allow to redo an event. So, that does come to play here in the end, Deus Ex Machina, but whatever, you go with it. So you have this big, epic battle between Frieza and Goku, and, you know, Goku turns Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is a mouthful.
Hey, phrasing!
Anyway. Does anybody else want to interrupt me while I'm at it, while you're at it? I mean, seriously?
Eat a dick!
Okay. Yeah, I'm done. I'm just getting interrupted by everything today. Whatever. So, we get to this climax where, you know, Frieza turns golden, becomes Golden Frieza, and then they realize that he was off training, and then he achieved this new form, but he couldn't regulate, he didn't know how to regulate it yet, so he would basically, he was putting out more energy that his body could supply. So eventually Frieza was gonna go back to, and he could go right to final form Frieza, so he wasn't even fucking around with the other forms. So that's where that's at. And then this other minion, the little short guy, you know, blasts Goku with his ring, you know, cheap shots him as Goku's showing Frieza mercy to give him a chance to leave, which, again, is a mistake. Goku's gotta stop showing these guys mercy, man. I mean, it's... So Vegeta goes up to fight him. He has also been able to achieve Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. It's almost like he, you know, even when, you know, JT was still canon, you know, he still skipped Super Saiyan 3. Well, because he's goddamn Vegeta. So as Vegeta, you know, he's got Frieza beaten down, and then as he's about to deliver the final blow, Frieza blows up the Earth, which is his plan all along. If he, you know, got into an unwinnable situation, he was just going to blow up the Earth, because he can survive in a vacuum. Let's not forget that part, because he can survive in a vacuum. Everyone on Earth is going to be gone, Goku was going to be dead, Vegeta was going to be dead, everybody, but Frieza, he was going to survive. So everyone say they were in like this energy field on one of the chunks of Earth that was still around. So, bada bing, bada boom, he gives a second chance, Goku comes up, destroys Frieza, and we're right back where we started with Frieza in Hell. And all the cutesy fucking dancing, sing-along. Ugh. Awesome movie, though. I am kind of droning on here, but just, I don't know, I'm just tired today, and I want to get this out, and I can at least be happy with this take. So, Yeah, the animation was beautiful. The story was good. It's something I've been waiting to see for a while. All the characters are, as I remember, Frieza's still the evil tyrant. Goku and Vegeta still awesome. You know. I mean, I'll pay $2 for it. I'm glad I would have bought a full Blu-ray for 20. You know, it's definitely worth the watch and wait. Spend a Saturday night, and then I went and watched the OSW review of Starcade '94 with main event Ed Leslie. Think about that. Starcade. You know, WCW's answer. You know, it's their WrestleMania. It's supposed to be, you know, their biggest show of the year. Main evented by Hogan and Brutus Beefcake because, well, he's buddy-buddy with Hogan. Yeah, main event Ed Leslie. Which is not as terrible as Vince Russo as WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, that happened. And it was awful. There was no... I think I've ranted about it. There's no fucking rhyme or reason. It was throwing shit at a wall and see what was sticking, and nothing was sticking. That company went right downhill. You know, bye-bye. I mean, good riddance. Yeah, that's, I guess you could really call it a side scroller Monday, Tuesday, whatever. I really should work on another review. I think I'm gonna go do that. As this, is rendering. Pegasus out.